Hey everybody, documentary shout out. Check out this documentary and how dog culture is like an endless war that incentivizes constant government overspending.
On these wars, endless wars, they're able to keep doing that because they're just able to borrow at lower rates.
Absolute monarchs, when they got into wars, uh, sometimes they'd run out of money. The treasury would run dry, so armies could not be paid, and they would stop battling in the field and go back. Wars are extremely expensive. Had Americans been forced to pay by taxation for the Vietnam War, it would have stopped a lot sooner than it did. America could simply print money and buy the things it needed to fight the war without having to raise taxes. So it's because it spares people from having to pay a visible price for the war.
Okay, so this is like dog culture. You don't really pay a visible price. So there's two wars going on with dog culture right now. The first war is everybody out there tells you we need to get dogs into homes. We got homeless dogs. We got stray dogs. We have to end animal abuse. End animal abuse. Oh my God. They will show you pictures of all kinds of terrible, terrible, poor, hungry dogs. They will show you all kinds of pictures of somebody rough handled their dog or somebody supposedly ran a fighting ring. It's this huge war against some supposed animal cruelty. That's the first war. And then the second war is when the government has to come in and save us from the increasing dog attacks, dog bites, more medical services needed, more ambulances service needed, yet neighborhoods will be in shambles and roads won't be fixed. But they're blowing all this money on dogs and they're collecting all kinds of donations from all the 501c3 shelters that are supposed to also end this animal abuse, right? But they don't. The strays grow every year, the abandoned dogs grow every year, and the money going to all these government organizations or government connected organizations that are allowed to take donations without paying taxes, they grow. And animal cruelty and other stuff grows.
That the war can go on.
State military conflicts destroy human lives, pollute the environment, impoverish millions of people, and waste scarce resources in pursuit.
That's just like dog culture, wasting scarce resources, polluting the environment, destroying human lives. Yeah, dog culture is like a war on our own soil.
Of state political goals.
Regardless of whether they admit it or not, through all sources, about $1 trillion goes to the so-called defense budget. Now, that not only includes the 600 or 700 billion to DoD, but also State Department, a lot of U.S. aid, a lot of other things in the federal budget are really defense spending masquerading as something else. So while government.
So this reminds me of dog culture too. Defense spending. What are they doing? They're running around defending these dogs from poverty, from being hurt, from being abused. And they need more and more and more dog shelter organizations that all operate nonprofit as if they're some type of charity, but they're not a human charity. They're a charity for more and more dog ownership. More and more dogs every year need constant rescue from cliffs, rescue from other places. And it's masquerading all of the effort we put into dogs. It's masquerading as some type of charity and helping with animal abuse. But it's not, because all of those things that these dog culture organizations claim to be fixing and helping us with, they get worse every year. The stray dogs get worse. The dog abuse gets worse. The constant overcrowding of dogs and stray dogs gets worse.
It's too big and we need to cut spending. If they're not talking about defense, if they're not talking about entitlements, they're not being serious. There's no amount of cutting we could do in any other part of the government that would make a meaningful difference.
What about the spending on dog culture? What about all the food banks everywhere for dogs, yet we have hungry people in our country?
As Randolph Bourne famously put it, war is the health of the state. Right? The state benefits in lots of ways, directly and indirectly, from war. I mean, everybody remembers Orwell's 1984 and the idea that war was so endemic that you didn't even know who the current enemy was, and they kept switching it around, right? So people didn't care. They just
Yeah, people in the dog defending world, they don't care. If you tell them some dog was abused, that it was rescued from a cliff, it was rescued from a dogfighting ring, it was rescued from a hoarder, they don't care. They're ready to dump money, money, money into dogs. Even when they got flat tires on their car, their bank account's empty, their children are hungry, they will dump money into some supposed enemy, dog abuser. Just look at social media, just look at the YouTube channels where they get a dog that they said they rescued from somewhere, and they do a video where they found it underneath an old abandoned table in the woods, supposedly, and then they sit there and feed it raw meat, and they'll have millions and millions of subscribers, and they'll have hundreds and thousands of dollars in donations because they found the dog and it was abused. The enemy abuser must be, stamped out. It's just a trick to get your money.
just knew that they were constantly in a state of warfare, which of course, allows the state to justify a lot of infringements on personal and community liberty that we would normally not tolerate, right?
Yes, like dogs. Dogs are constantly attacking kids at bus stops, parks, restaurants, attacking women, kids, men, all of the people that the government says we need to protect and raise up. Black voices, women voices, LGBTQ. All of those people are being attacked in public places, on their way to school, just out walking, Air Force veterans being killed by pit bulls. All of that stuff happens. And those are crazy, crazy infringements on our rights. But people in the dog culture, they'll just turn a blind eye. They will cover up for any nasty thing any dog does, even killing their own family. They will say, well, the dog was playing, because they are at war with some type of terrible treatment of dogs. We just got to treat these dogs so good, even up to the point of allowing the dogs to kill themselves. It's very much like that movie 1984, like he's referencing right here.
Oh, well, we're in a time of war, so we have to read your emails and we have to spy on what you're doing and make sure that the enemy hasn't infiltrated, our midst. The reason that
Yeah, we're in a time of war. It's the same thing with dog culture. They run around saying stuff like, humans are no good, dogs are better, dogs are better. And part of it is, people that own dogs, they're kind of like in a war with humans. So they will allow their dog to go and do anything and everything and just excuse it, even if it's a death or attack. But then if they see something like somebody pushing a dog or rough handling a dog, boom, they're ready to go to war, and they're ready to spend any amount of resources to demonize one of their fellow humans.
most people go along with that, albeit, with some grumbling, is because they have been told we're at war. We're at war with terrorists who would want to blow up airplanes and want to hurt you, and etc. So you've got to sacrifice some of your liberty for the security that we, the government, offers. Well,
Yeah, you got to sacrifice all these liberties so we can get these dogs finally treated right. He's a rescue dog, so it's okay if he pooped all over my carpet. Oh my God, the enemy that's hurting these dogs. We just got to go out of our way to virtue signal and fill our lives with dogs. Oh, my uncle got his calf bitten out by the dog. Oh, but don't worry about that. They'll give up everything and anything for the sake of taking care of these dogs that are terrorizing our neighborhoods more and more. And the second part of this war on our own soil argument is just all of the dogs everywhere that are attacking everybody, attacking little kids and everything else. There is also a war of the citizens versus the dogs, but we're not allowed to use violence. That's where the monopoly of violence comes in. So another part of the funding that they need for this war is to come in and save us from dogs. And the police have to come in and shoot a dog, break up a pit bull fight to save a kid or save another dog. And that is also a reason for them to take taxes away from us instead of allowing us to use the free market and protect ourselves from these dogs. So there's two wars going on. There's the war of everybody thinks there's some terrible dog abuser out there, and if they don't give up their rights and spoil all these dogs, that dog abuser is going to get away. And then there's the secondary part of this war where we're not allowed to fight it ourselves. They have to come in. The government has to come in and say, well, we're going to raise taxes next year and get some more humane societies, some more animal control officers. However, they never do it. They raise the taxes, they do more facilities, more infrastructure built around dogs, dog parks, free little food libraries for dogs. Yet the problems get worse every year. And I'll cover more of that on my next video. Thanks for watching, and tell me what you think about my video, and I hope you get a chance to watch the whole documentary. See you guys later.